What's going on, guys? It's Unknown Player here, and today we've got a ton of Black Ops 3 multiplayer news to go over, and I'm going to be collecting a ton of information that has come out recently through Dave Vonhar on Twitter, and he's been very active recently, answering a ton of people's questions who tweet him. I'm going to be summing up all of his responses about Black Ops 3 multiplayer and detailing a ton of information. We've actually got this earlier on in the year, which is pretty crazy. So it's almost like a Q&A with David Vonhar with a bunch of information. So if you enjoy the video, as always, give it a like rating, and let's get into these responses. So first off, someone asked him, is there going to be any changes to the loading screen, as when you load up to multiplayer, instead of seeing that static image and the loading bar at the bottom, is going to be any difference? He says it's very different, so you can see which specialists you've equipped and also your weapons and abilities people are riding with. So very similar to the virtual lobby in Advanced Warfare. I'm not sure whether he means the actual lobby loading screen or the actual loading screen. Maybe we'll get like a dynamic loading screen that we wanted for a long time, so it's like maybe you're flying in for a helicopter or like walking through buildings instead of the traditional loading screen which we've always seen. But hopefully with the next gen capability we'll see something a little bit more advanced than just typical loading screen. But of course it's early days and anything could happen at this point. Next up, someone asked about knifing features, and he said they've got plans and designs here, of course classified at this point, and specifically he mentioned a ballistic knife and tomahawk, and he didn't exactly say no to it and that they won't be in the game, but I'm definitely assuming there will be some sort of ballistic knife. It's been in Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. I can't really see them taken out at this point. It's almost like a staple feature for Black Ops games, so I would definitely expect a combat axe and ballistic knife kind of equivalent in Black Ops 3, and I'm looking forward to see what those look like in a very futuristic game. And then very interesting, we've got a very hot topic about Call of Duty games every single year, and this is a 25 kill streak, a nuke, a game ending one, or some sort of very high up medal which is the top in the game. And he said the mothership will make people wet themselves and rage quit as it is. No need for anything beyond that. So he's basically saying there is no need for any kind of game ending nuke or Moab or Chem Strike or DNA bomb, anything like that. And we know Treyarch, they've never put those things in their game. It's not their style, it's not what they like to do. And he was saying that the mothership, which is currently the highest kill streak in Black Ops 3 at the moment, that is basically lethal enough. And what I've heard, it lasts like a good few minutes, and it's just massive like airship that just hovers around and you can just rain down destruction. So the mothership sounds very terrifying at this point, and currently it's the highest streak. And also someone else asked him about a kind of specific hidden score streak or game ending nuke, and he basically reiterated that he is not a fan, and Treyarch are not fans of game ending score streaks, and they really do not like it. So we would definitely not expect any kind of nuke, possibly some kind of medal similar to the nuclear medal, and I think medals on screen are the extent of what we will get if you go on 25 and 30 gun streaks. And then next up, while he was answering questions and being so active on Twitter, I thought I'd jump in myself and ask him about something I was interested in, and I asked him if the Gunsmith would have a firing range you can basically go in and test out your weapons. He responded saying he doesn't know yet, and maybe it's tough to justify when they have a custom game mode that does pretty much the same thing and possibly better by some measure. So he was saying they don't think they're going to have a virtual firing range, but we're not too sure. I'm hoping they really do, because it's a lot more easier than going into a separate game mode and going to pretty much to a private match to try out your weapon. I really like being able to press one button and just kind of see your weapon there and see how it feels, see the recoil, and you can also very easily test out attachments. You can see how does a grip function, how does a red dot sight function. You kind of feel out your weapon very quickly. So maybe they'll add one, or maybe not. Maybe the custom games feature he talked about will be even better than the virtual firing range, but we'll have to see for that. Someone asked him how many perks can you equip in each slot, and he said the current plan is 2 per slot with wildcards, of course, just like Black Ops 2, and he said they're subject to change, but it's probably likely to stay to 2 per slot. And then someone asked, is C4s returning? He said they are returning, but they're returning in a slightly different fashion, and the way they work now, if you don't know, is they have to touch a surface or land somewhere, stick to something, before they'll be able to be detonated. You cannot detonate them in midair, so you can't use them as like very overpowered grenades, which is pretty much what you use them in Black Ops 2 for. You just lob them and then blow them up midair. You can't do that anymore. They have to touch a surface or a wall or a floor or a ceiling or something like that, and then you can blow them up. And they also have a proximity alarm, so when someone's close to it, it will kind of warn you and tell you that there's an enemy near your C4 and you can blow it up. But it's not going to blow it up for you. It's not like an IED. It's still, you have to do it yourself, and you have to time it very well, but it does have a proximity alarm, so it lets you know if an enemy is near your C4. And then we got some information about the Orbital VSAT, one of the fan favorite score streaks in Black Ops series, and he said, is there going to be an Orbital VSAT returning? Is it going to be similar? And he responded by saying yes and no. The core functionality is the same, but you can fight back against it. It's challenging but possible. So essentially we're getting the same Orbital VSAT back, which shows enemies and their directions, but we're going to be able to fight against it. And I really cannot think myself of how you'll be able to fight against it other than just a ghost perk, which is clearly not what he's talking about. But maybe leave your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think he means by fighting against it, and how are you going to be able to fight against this Orbital VSAT? It's clearly not just a perk which you can use to counter it, and you probably won't be able to shoot it down, but it's going to be very interesting to see how they're kind of countering it and making it less of a very powerful score streak, which it has been in the past. Then someone asked him about tactical surgeons. He said no, he doesn't think so, but it is an early build. Someone asked him about perks. This is very interesting as well. Someone said bring back Dead Silence, and he said Dead Silence is a perk. It's currently in tier 3. That's subject to change. Someone asked about Toughness, Scavenger, and Lightweight. He said Toughness is out. So Toughness is completely gone, not in the game at all, which I really like. I thought was a staple perk and kind of wasn't really too necessary to have a perk in the game if you always need to run it. Scavenger is in, so that's cool, and Lightweight is not available. So I'm not sure what that means. Maybe it's not in the current build. Maybe they're kind of still working on it. I know that you do have unlimited sprint within Black Ops 3 multiplayer, so I'm not sure whether Lightweight is too necessary, and it's also an ability for the Ruin specialist character. He can have an ability to run super fast. So I'm not sure whether they'll put Lightweight in. And someone asked more about Toughness. He responded saying that basically in Black Ops 3 multiplayer, everyone has built in Toughness, which is basically about half as powerful as normal Toughness. So you basically have half Toughness normally built in. Everyone's going to be the same. You can't tweak it. And I'm definitely looking forward to not having to run that staple perk, which kind of blocks up one of your perk slots. Someone asked him about a perk that counters UAV. He said rocket launchers and Ghost. And so essentially we know that Ghost is going to be a perk you can use to hide yourself from UAV. And also there are rocket launchers that can take down UAV. So that's very cool. And then someone asked, is Black Ops 3 going to be on Xbox 360 and PS3? So old generation consoles. And it's basically he's wondering, is it going to be on old gen systems, which a lot of people are wondering right now. And we haven't got any confirmed information. A lot of rumors going around, but we do not know if it's actually going to be on these old systems. And he responded saying Treyarch is focused on PC, Xbox One, and PS4. So essentially next gen systems. And he said they have not announced whether any other platforms be available. So he's basically said the Treyarch are working on the next gen systems. And I think that's kind of hinting that possibly a different studio is going to be working on the old gen. So we don't know yet if it's going to be an old gen. And next up, someone asked about sniping, and he said it's going to be a lot like Black Ops 2, maybe easier with a distinct lack of sway. We haven't tuned this yet. So that is some very interesting words about sniping. Possibly it's going to be easier than actual Black Ops 2 sniping. Someone asked about how many sensitivities are there in Black Ops 3, and he responded saying there are 14, but vertical and horizontal are split, so you can actually change the sensitivity of a vertical and horizontal view. And someone else asked a very interesting question, again asking about whether it will be exclusive to any systems, whether you have DLC early, etc. And he said he would if he could, but that stuff is handled by Activision. So again, we do not know about that, and hopefully we'll get some more answers soon, because a lot of people are waiting to hear what platform will have early DLC before they actually place their pre-order. And then finally, something very simple: will you be able to see your legs in Black Ops 3? Yes, you can see your legs. That's pretty crazy. We never had that in COD. We had it in a lot of other rival like shooter games, but never COD have you been able to look down and see your legs. So a little weird thing there, but that is another confirmed fact about Black Ops 3 multiplayer. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this Black Ops 3 multiplayer information. If you did, give it a like rating, subscribe for the latest Black Ops 3 news and information. Also follow me on Twitter down in the description as the information comes out. So hopefully you have enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.